Well, hello. Welcome again to another edition of My View from the Pew. I'm Ronnie Blockett, and I'm grateful for you for stopping by the channel today. We are closing in on 40 subscribers, which I think is good. It's better than 35, I guess, or 30 subscribers. So we are moving up on that. So certainly am thankful for those who have subscribed. If you haven't done so yet, and looking at the stats, you haven't, please do so, because I'd love to have you as one of our subscribers on the channel. So today's episode is taking a chapter from my book, Rocket Science Made Easy, that I wrote a few years back. So, and the chapter was called Okay. So if you've probably noticed, over the years, people tend to not get along with one another as much as they used to. We fight about everything, it seems like. So the premise of the book, the chapter in my book was, so I have two daughters, they're born 8 years apart on the same day. So when they were younger, they would argue about everything, whether or not the sun was shining, whether the grass was green, who was taller, who was shorter, everything. It doesn't matter what it was arguing. And so as Claire, my youngest one, was, 2 or so, just learning to talk and doing some of these things. And my oldest daughter, they would argue about everything. And I would tell her, it's like, just say, okay, and you're done with it. Whatever it is they want to do, just say, okay. And sometimes that's the best answer that you can give is okay. So as they never really learned that much, but as they got older, they figured out, yeah, maybe that's not too bad of an answer, that we could just do okay. So as I watched television shows, and again, whether it's conservative, liberal, sports, whatever it is, the arguments just go on and on and on. And, sometimes the best answer is just, okay. So our oldest daughter, whenever she was in teenage years, she couldn't pass a mirror without looking at herself. And she's a cosmetologist now, so it probably was a good choice. But we used to tease her and call her Ginger from Gilligan's Island. But, I think when she was 16 or so, or 15, she's like, when I graduate, I'm going to join the Peace Corps and go overseas and help people. It's like, okay. So sometimes, okay can mean yes, no, maybe, I don't care. I had a professor in college, whenever somebody would say something that was a little odd, he would always either say, well, that's a thought, or we could. I told my kids that a lot too. We could do this. And I would say, yeah, we could. But it's sometimes the best answer just okay, just okay, that's fine. Whatever, if your opinion is that, in this political environment that's gotten nuts and crazy, and everything from COVID to lockdowns to the elections, and, Democrat, Republican, Martian, you guys know my theory on that they're all crooks. But sometimes, people would get pretty heated debates and pretty heated arguments about whether you like this person or don't like this person, or supporting this person. And I've had some people in my life have said different things to me about that. And usually I just go, okay, that's fine, because that typically ends the argument fairly quickly if they know that you're not going to argue back, so to speak. But some of the arguments that we get into and some of the discussions we get into, is it really worth it at the end of the day to, go back and forth and to get upset with one another over something that really we have zero control over? My old friend Mark Friedman, who we'll talk about in future episodes, who was a local Dallas legend in the sports world around here, he would always say, I don't worry about the things I can't control, because I can't do anything about it. And the things that I can control, that I worry about, I do something about those. So he had a great outlook on life, is that, he's not worried about the stuff that he can't control. His answer on that was okay. So I would encourage you today, this afternoon, tomorrow, is just, as someone kind of gets into that mode of, I'm going to argue with you, or I don't like what you're saying, or discussions, or they say something, maybe take a couple seconds and think, is maybe this best answer to this just okay? Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode. That's my view from the pew.